Hello, my spooky friends.
My name is Cassie,
And I'm Caitlin.
and welcome into I'd Survive. We can keep it. It's fine. It's fine.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to I'd Survive. Cassie, how are you doing on this fine whatever day it is?
I've been good. Genuinely, I giggle because it's just usually I'm coming in like, oh my God, this and then this and then this. But actually, the last couple of weeks, I've finally, this year, been getting into a good, healthy groove.
Yes.
So
we love to hear.
That's good. I am possibly cursed because of what we were just discussing with I had this really crazy night terror with like this evil person from Twin Peaks that I'm really scared of, and they were in it. But then, long story short, like something happened in the nightmare that then happened in the next episode I hadn't watched yet of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And all the gory details might add up to I do have like a psychotic demon presence coming after me or trying to warn me or something. But other than that, I've been having a great time.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that everything is just perfect.
Yeah.
Have you been watching? Oh.
Okay. You know I'm waiting for this.
Yeah, no, wait. No, tell me.
Okay. So yes, I did try to watch a horror movie meant for the podcast this past week. And I ended up watching a different one and it worked out and I found what I'm going to be doing next week and everything. But I lasted about 25 minutes into a movie called Microwave Massacre.
Let me just say before you even say anything, she tells me about like, oh, I'm going to try and watch this for the podcast. And I said to her, I was like, this better work out because like I'm intrigued. Like I need to know. What do you mean? It
should have. The title's so great. And
such a great title.
We love a weird horror movie for the podcast. And it was from the 70s. So I have a pretty good threshold of holding on to the end for movies in general.
You do.
But I was just like, I can't waste my life on this. Because every woman in the movie was there either just to be eye candy or they were just insufferable. And I was like,
okay.
Did whoever wrote this, like, do we just really hate women? And it started with this woman going by a construction yard, because you know how it goes. The women walk by a construction yard and they get distracted by the hot men that are working. That's usually how that goes.
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
She walks up to like this, don't ask me why, there's this wall partition up and it has a hole in it that's just perfect for her to stick her boobs into. So obviously she does that. And also a man just comes up from behind and just starts doing her.
Okay. Never mind.
Like that's how it starts. And then the cherry on top for me was the fact that the main antagonist, the killer of the movie, was played by the man who's the voice of Frosty the Snowman.
What the fuck? No.
And all I heard was like Frosty the Snowman like hating women and being awful the whole time. And I was like, so I need to stop.
Yeah, no, okay, so this movie, it sounded like it was gonna be fun, and now I'm getting the sense that it was not.
Yeah.
So.
And you know what? They could have gone a different route, even like with the idea with a title like that, because basically what was gonna happen is like he kills his wife, obviously, because he hates her and she's insufferable.
Of course. Sure.
And then he suddenly develops cannibalistic urges, and so then he goes around and kills sex workers and like heats them up in his microwave or something. So that's the end of that chapter of our lives, and I'm sorry that you had to have just even a little taste of it.
Yeah, not a little taste. Cassie.
That was definitely not on purpose.
Ew.
I did finally get around to watching It 1990.
Yes, you did.
Obviously, with my little Tim Curry watch-along memoir situation that I'm doing.
Of course.
And I thought I liked it. I ended up watching it like half of it one night and half of it the next.
Sure.
Obviously, like Tim Curry was great.
Sure.
I will say, as far as like comparing Pennywise like the current versus the 1990, to me, it felt like Tim Curry's Pennywise feels like a carnival clown worker who happens to embody pure evil. And then Bill's Pennywise is like pure evil that happens to be a clown.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like it's kind of like flipped. If they feel different in that way.
Sure.
I also really just love those practical effects. Like,
oh yeah,
maybe more than CGI. Like, it's really cool what they could do with the modern It movies.
Yeah.
But I really just love the creativity behind practical effects, and
absolutely
loved seeing all of them in the 1990 version.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite moments in the 1990 version is when the drain pulls back, because you can literally see like the stop motion effect of like the tiles like bunching up before Pennywise comes out.
Yeah.
And so like that whole scene I think is really cool in terms of practical effects and such.
I don't love how either like the modern It movies or the 1990, like how it ends. I wish it was, what I like about the modern is that it's literally Pennywise.
Yeah.
And I don't like how in 1990 it's like the spider monster. It's like,
yeah, I hate the spider monster, unsurprisingly.
Okay. Well, yes.
No, it's like I always forget that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels out of place.
It does. Even though it's in the book, it doesn't feel right in the movies.
Yeah. Obviously, I didn't like the end of the modern because it was like they just were like, you're a clown. And then that was it. And it felt a bit anticlimactic.
Yeah, they bully him to death. So.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's like, it's just like the concept is so fun and there's so much to do with it. And there's things I appreciate in both. But for some reason, like the end, like it never, I never feel satisfied with the end of this story. I don't know what that is, but.
Interesting. I'm curious to see how you feel when you get to Derry.
Yes.
Because that's a whole different, I mean, it's a different branch of the universe. It's not, a remake, but it's really cool.
I'm excited because I like the concept so much. I'm excited to see like a new story form around the concept.
Absolutely. I did have a very fun experience with horror this past week, in that people know I've been kind of watching this franchise called like Child's Play / Chucky, and I finally made it to Bride of Chucky, which I think people say this is the point of the franchise where things really just go off the rails. Yes. As you can imagine, I think I'm ready to label this franchise as my guilty pleasure franchise.
Amazing. I'm so happy you love it. It could have gone either way. I wasn't sure.
It really could have, because like this, I'm not supposed to like these kinds of movies, like based on my past, what I've liked in the past and what I have hated in the past. But there's something about Chucky that I adore. He's sitting in my office right now for the video people.
Oh, yeah.
I do have Chucky in my office right now, and he's just kind of looking at everybody, but...
As he should for the rest of time. I don't want him to move ever.
I don't want him to move ever either, Cassie, actually. So, believe it or not.
Oh my God, imagine. Oh, that would be amazing. I mean,
no, it really wouldn't, but
right. No, that would be bad. Yeah.
If I got murdered by a doll, Cassie's like, whoa, that would be so fun. Can you imagine that?
No, I mean, just imagine like having that on camera. That'd be fun.
It would, that would be good content.
Yeah, exactly.
Make a banger TikTok.
Really good bonus episode on Patreon. Like Caitlin is killed by Chucky.
Yes, so true. Oh my God, you would really thrive on my death. Like it'd be great.
Oh my God.
But other than that, I've been watching some stuff for the podcast. I've been ahead on my stuff, guys. This is a miracle. Who is she? Like,
amazing.
Not me writing the script the morning of anymore, Like we don't want that anymore. But this week we're going to talk about a movie called No One Gets Out Alive, which of course intrigued me because but that's like our job. Like we have to try and get out alive on this podcast.
No, this is the perfect title for the like we have to, by law, have this as an episode or the podcast doesn't count.
Exactly.
For anything.
Exactly. I think that's true. This movie is a 2021 British Netflix released horror film directed by Santiago Mangini. And this was his directorial debut, but he's also directing the sequel to The Curse of La Llorona, which I guess is coming out this year, and I didn't know about.
Wait, what? Is this a remake? Have you heard of this? What do I know this from?
That is part of the Conjuring universe.
Oh, I've heard that before, so I'm familiar with it, but I don't think I've actually seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either, but I guess there is a sequel coming out.
Okay, so maybe it did well.
Yeah. So that's kind of fun. The screenplay was written by John Kroeker and Fernanda Koppel and is loosely based on the novel of the same name by Adam Neville, the same author who wrote The Ritual.
Okay.
Crazy, right? I had no idea going in. I saw that. I was like,
we
wow.
love connections coming together.
We do. And I forgot that The Ritual was a book and that I wanted to read it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I'll hopefully get there. But that is really all I got on this film. It's, like it was pretty much a Netflix pipeline film, which I love me these kinds of movies. Yeah. Like, give me a Netflix horror film.
Yeah, they're fun. Like, it's kind of sometimes hard to find a good movie that'll work for the podcast.
Sure.
But no matter how bad a Netflix horror film is, usually it will at least work for the podcast. Like, there's something about them. So yeah, the
nice. Vibes. And of course, if you would like to follow along with our worksheet, you can find that on our Discord per usual. We will have a worksheet as always. So are you ready to get into No One Gets Out Alive?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. The film starts us out with some old film, a tiny, grainy rectangle in the center of the screen. We're in Mexico in 1963, exploring some ancient ruins with a Professor Arthur Wells.
We got to leave the ancient ruins alone.
No, we got to dig them up.
Oh.
We got to.
Yeah. You know what? This is people like you is why horror movies exist. So I thank you for existing.
Hey, I got you, girlie. So there's a lot of skulls and bones, and we see ancient relics such as like vases and bowls and things. Mm-hmm. Descending deeper into the ground, these people discover an ornate stone box surrounded by moths, and they lift it out of the earth with a crane. We cut quickly to present day, and we are simply met with a wall of moths. You know how people will take like dead bugs and pin them like on a cork board type vibe?
Yeah. Why do people do that? Actually,
I don't know.
I'm having war flashbacks to like 7th grade where we had to do a project like where we collected bugs and we had to pin them into a shadow box and like present them to the class.
I would have refused to.
I really didn't like that. Yeah.
That's crazy. Ew.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's weird to think about now. What was that about?
What was that about? I'm not a fan.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a dark, stormy night, like literally. And a girl named Simona sits on the couch speaking to her brother, and they're speaking in Spanish. Simona is asking how things are back home. And as they're speaking, we see more of this house that Simona is in. It's huge, it's run down, it's creepy. And we even get a shot of a door covered in locks. The handle turns. Simona tells her brother that she's been having bad dreams. She really just wants to leave. She wants to get out of here and come home. Simona looks across the room to see wet footprints resting on the floor by the window.
Oh.
And wet droplets appear around them, like there is water dropping onto the floor. But with like nothing above it.
Okay, I love that.
The power cuts out along with her cell service, and the wet footprints fade from the floor. Simona hears some loud bangs and shifting, so she gets up to investigate. Looking down the hall, she can't see anything out of the ordinary. The sound of a moth's fluttering wings catch her attention, making her look off to the side. But then she looks back down the hall. There now sits an ornate stone box. That we have seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Cutting back to Simona, we can see a silhouette over her shoulder. A silhouette with glowing white eyes. But Simona remains unaware. The box suddenly jolts forward on its own. Hands grab Simona's shoulders from behind, and we cut away as she screams. Mm-hmm. Back to that moth board. One of the moths flutters its wings, breaks free from its pin, and flies away. We get a quick exterior shot of the house where the lights start flickering. It's certainly an old house, 5 stories. It's run down and sits on a street where nearby homes also look pretty run down. Basically, it's got one hell of a creep factor. And then we are hit with our title card. No One Gets Out Alive.
Okay. Out of the box?
What?
Out of the box.
Out of the box. Out of the... No? Okay. That was a TV show.
Was it about no was that where they like made imaginary things happen inside a box?
I think kind of. Like, there was literally a cardboard box, and it was like these people in like a tree house or something.
But it was like human. It wasn't a cartoon. It was like human people.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you've just like unlocked something deep inside me, actually. I remember that. But no, what I was going to say though is how you feel about spiders is, well, you have like a genuine phobia. I wouldn't call this a phobia for me, but like my least favorite insect is a moth. I hate a moth. I'm really freaked out by moths. I don't like how they flutter and they're so like, they fly so erratically and it freaks me out. So that's really great.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. That's good to know. That's good to know. I've only said moth like 6 times so far.
Yes, I was counting, yeah.
Yes, okay, good. So next we cut to a truck full of undocumented immigrants that has just arrived in Cleveland from Mexico. A young girl named Amber, and I am just going to say Amber, but it's like actually spelled Ambar, but the only way that sounds right is if you say it with the proper like accent. And I'm going to sound like an idiot, so I'm going to call her Amber. Okay. So she is just one of the many who piles out of the back of the truck, and we do make an immediate 2-week time jump as Amber is paying at the front desk of a motel. The man tells her that she's been here a while, and if she wants to stay any longer, he's going to need to see a form of ID. Amber promises him that he'll get it soon. She heads into work, and she's working an under-the-table job, getting paid cash in a crowded, like, textiles sort of place. That day, she comes across a flyer, like in like a break room or whatever. It's pinned on a bulletin board. Schofield Heights Boarding House. Cheap rooms, women only.
Ooh.
Seems like it must be popular since only one of the pull tabs along the bottom remains. Amber takes it and heads to the house. Yes, it is the same house from the start of the film. Yeah.
Well, of course it is. I just got really distracted and excited about like the whole women only thing.
Right.
But then there's moths there, so it's not as exciting.
Yeah, that's the biggest concern.
For me, yeah. The moths are the biggest concern for me right now, yeah.
Sure. So, a man named Red shows her around this house. Now, I was losing my mind throughout this movie because I'm like, why is this man so familiar? Well, this man is the man from the movie Alone.
Oh,
the like stalker guy.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Okay.
And I didn't like place it until I looked it up after, and I was like, oh my God, that's where I know him from. So he's a good actor. I like him. Don't mind the mess, he says. We just took over the place. He shows her to her room when another girl, a young blonde girl, rushes by. This prompts Amber to ask how many other people live here, and Red tells her that she's the second, and Freya, that girl who just walked by, is the first. Oh, and her English isn't great. Just a heads up. Amber throws her bag down on her bed in this very rundown room, and the bed actually breaks under the weight of just her bag. Red props the bed back up by shoving like a random thing underneath it, and he's like, yeah, I'll fix that soon, before asking Amber where she's from. She just says, south of here. And Red is like, how far south? Not far, she says, and Red laughs like he knows what this means, and then asks for 1 month's rent up front. Amber seems surprised, but coughs up the cash, and she really doesn't have that many options anyway. That night, Amber sits in her room, and she listens to a voicemail on her phone. It's from her mother. Hi, sweetheart. Sorry for calling so late. You know I can't sleep in these beds. Thank you for today. I know you have plans, but I need you to come in tomorrow. Please come. Your visits are the only thing Amber quickly hangs up as she can hear crying coming from the room below her.
Oh.
There's a vent in the floor that she can actually look through and like see down into the next room. Freya sits on her bed crying to herself. She either senses someone watching her or hears the creak of the floorboards and looks up, nearly meeting Amber's eyes through the vent. But Amber jumps back so that she can't see her. Back in her bed, Amber flips through some old photos of her and her mother, and we flash back. Amber lays her head in her mother's lap in a hospital room. Her mom asks her to please stay a little longer as she runs her hands across her daughter's head. Now we cut back to Amber in bed, and like the hand remains upon her head and like pulls away as Amber rolls over, and it's like a very cool and creepy transition shot to like go from the memory back to present day.
Oh, cool.
Like,
yeah.
The hand is there. I like always appreciate those kinds of shots so much.
Same.
But anyway, the next morning, Amber gets up and goes to head out. She comes across a green powdery substance on her door, but doesn't think too much of it.
What the hell? What would you think? A green powder?
Yeah, like a green powder just like kind of on her door.
I
think I would let it go at this point.
I would let it go, but I'd be like, what? Maybe I'd think it was someone's makeup. You know what I mean? Like, what?
It is. I think my brain might go to like, he said he's like doing work on the place. Like maybe there was like a material that he was carrying around and somehow it brushed up against my, like, I don't know. It is weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
She lets it go. The lights in the hall are on a very quick timer, which makes walking downstairs pretty creepy. And on the stairs, she runs into Freya and attempts to introduce herself. Red says, "It's just the two of us," she says. "Red is full of shit," Freya says before briskly walking away. Amber's kind of like, "Oh, okay." But she heads out the front door. She's got places to be. Mm-hmm. We linger inside, where we pan up the central chamber of the house and see a silhouette with glowing eyes peering over the balcony. That same silhouette that we saw before. Yeah. And this house is one where like it has a stairway that goes up and then it's just like a big rectangle in the middle and like balcony all the way around on each floor.
Oh, yes.
So it all like looks down the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me of the Scream house.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and it freaks me out because it's like you can just run in circles and there's like no way. Oh God. Yeah. It's like the perfect like running away from something house.
So true. At work that day, Amber gets scolded by her boss for working poorly and slowly, and when he walks away, she just glances over at her friend Kinsey and they share a laugh like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And before heading out that day, Kinsey and Amber are getting ready to leave while Kinsey is on the phone. She hangs up with a disappointed look on her face. "So how much is the ID?" Amber asks. "The price has gone up to $3,000, she says with a grimace. And Amber's like, "Whoa, I thought it was $1,000.
Whoa.
The issue is the birthplace. Amber insists that she needs an ID with a birthplace of Texas. But if she would just take one with Ohio, it would still be that $1K. But the Texas is what's making it $3K.
Wow.
Ohio is the state that they're in, so I guess maybe that would make sense. So that evening, Amber takes a pretty lengthy cab ride into what appears to be a very wealthy neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And we cut to Amber sitting at a table in a very nice-looking home. And in the next room over, Amber can clearly hear the chatter of a man and a woman. Mm-hmm. "Be nice when we go out there," the man says. "I'm trying to be nice, but I don't know who she is. You barely knew her mother." She's just overhearing all of this very clearly.
Nice, yeah.
Nice. Everyone, good job, everyone. The couple walks in the room carrying food and calling for Carlos to come down for dinner. Amber thanks them for the invite, and the man, Beto, says, of course, it's nice to finally meet her. Carlos walks in now. He's probably a teenager, and his father introduces them. He explains that Amber's mom was his cousin, so we get the vibe that they're very distant family meeting for the first time. Beto asks Amber if she's ready for Friday. While he can't promise anything, he did put in a good word for her. Don't forget to bring your ID, he reminds her. They're pretty big on that. They fall into small talk, which of course includes the weather, and Amber mentions that it's been so cold, and Beto's like, yeah, you'll need a proper coat. He asks his wife, Sylvia, if they have an extra they can give her. Amber's immediately like, oh, no, like, it's okay, I can buy one, but Sylvia insists she has an old one in her closet that she can have, and Amber doesn't seem like it's just awkward because she's like feels like they're like giving her, you know,
it's all very awkward. I hate, like, I don't know, I know a lot of people believe like family is blood, like you do stuff for your blood, and I'm just like so not of that mindset because I have like some of my, obviously I'm very close with my stepdad, we're not blood related, and I'm also very not close with some blood related people, and it's just like families who show up for each other and they seem nice, but it's like it's just like I would feel so like, oh, you feel obligated to do this just because like we're technically family. It's so awkward. I hate it.
Right. Absolutely. We also learn through more small talk that Amber did not go to college. She had plans to, but then her mother got sick and she chose to stay with her. It led to her putting her life on hold for a few years. Later, Amber heads back to the boarding house with her new pink coat that she admires in the entryway mirror, and she seems very happy with it.
Aww.
Before heading upstairs, she notes some loud rumbling and thumping coming from somewhere down a hall on the first floor. She slowly makes her way down the hall to investigate. At the end of this hallway is a sturdy metal door. It has a padlock on the outside. Crouching down to get a closer look, Amber notices some scratch marks along the lower part of the door frame. Suddenly, a voice speaks up. "Lose something?" Red asks from down the hall. His presence startles Amber, and she says, "No, but there was a sound." Red cuts her off. "Basement's private," he says.
Okay. Would you need to go down there? I feel like and jokingly you'd be like, hell yeah, but would you really need to in a situation like that?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's weird, but I'm not going to be that nosy.
Yeah.
I like to be nosy in video games, but in real life, sure, I tend to be like, that's fine.
Yeah. Because it's weird. You want to be nosy, but you're also the rule follower. So you're like, okay, I'm staying here. I'm not allowed to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, so true.
Unless they give us some reason to not trust them, then I'd be like, what the hell's in your basement?
Right. Right. Amber glances into the room that they're actually standing beside, and Red quickly shuts the door. "Study's private too," he says.
Okay.
So we got two very weird private rooms. This has been a strange interaction, but Amber has more pressing issues. She asks Red if she can have her deposit back. She desperately needs it. Unfortunately, Red already spent it. He's been working on refurbishments, and he's used the money already. Feeling defeated, Amber goes back to her room, and she's sitting in her bed looking through the cash she has left when she starts to hear Freya crying through the vent again.
Oh.
She decides to go downstairs this time and check on her. Amber knocks on the door, but it wasn't closed, so it swings open a little bit. Pushing open the door further, Amber is met with a dark, empty space. She also notices more of that powdery substance on the door frame. And in my opinion, she's honestly not weirded out enough. She just kind of walks away. Whereas, if I look through the vent and I see Freya crying and then come downstairs and it's just it's empty, that's weird.
Yeah, I would need to find her immediately and be what's going on?
Are you good, girly? Yeah. So Amber walks away, but we linger. Looking back into the room, we see that silhouette with the glowing eyes standing in the corner. Now, Amber stands in the kitchen while the tea kettle boils on the stove, and she stares out into nothing as she falls back into a memory. She's with her mother again in that hospital room. Her head rested in her mother's lap. "You've always had such beautiful hair," her mother says. Amber sits up and puts her hands into her mother's before her mother stares uncomfortably into the corner of the room.
Oh.
"What's that in the corner?"
Oh, no,
she asks.
No.
No, literally the worst thing.
Literally. Wait, I was just talking to my sister, Grace, why did this get brought up? We were talking about how she has had ghosty experiences when she was a kid and would talk about people that weren't there when she was younger.
Sure.
And it's very weird. But she's like, if my kid ever looks in a corner and is like,
yeah,
hey, who's that man over there? She's like, they're on their own. I can't save you. I'm out of here.
Oh my God.
So real. Because that's so scary.
Wait, no, that exact thing is horrifying. And I would like to remind everyone that I don't remember what it was, but you did that to me not that long ago on the podcast. I don't even think it was the bug. It was something else where you stopped and stared. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Is there something behind me? It's the scariest thing someone can do to you.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember why. I think I was literally just associating and thinking about something, but it looked like I was looking past you and you were immediately triggered. That's so funny.
Like, what's behind me?
Yeah.
So Amber slowly turns to see the box. The side facing them has been pushed off the box a bit, and two hands reach out from inside the box and grab the edges of the separated side. They push it off to the side, and Amber jumps up in bed. It was a nightmare, of course.
Okay, yeah.
And relief washes over her face.
A prophetic nightmare, you say?
Oh, who's had those? Nobody I know.
Crazy.
At work that day, Amber asks her boss for an advance on her paycheck. Unsurprisingly, her asshole-ish boss rudely declines her request.
Yeah.
That night, Amber and Kinsey get drinks at a bar and talk about the whole ID situation. Kinsey doesn't understand why Amber, A, needs the ID so soon, and B, needs the ID to be a Texas ID. Well, A, Amber has a job interview on Friday for a really good job, and B, well, she lied to her Uncle Beto and told him that she was born in Texas, that she is a legal citizen, and he probably wouldn't help her otherwise.
Yikes, yeah.
She explains that she never wanted to come over here like this, but when her mom got sick, it made things really, really difficult for her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kinsey's going to share some of her backstory here as well. People had always told her that she had an eye for fashion. She thought she could come here and start a career for herself, open a shop, start a website, something like that. But it's been 5 years and she's still working, as she puts it, in the same shitty job. And she's been helping to support her family, who she lives with. She lightly jokes about some resentment she may hold there. I love them, but life would be so much easier without them, she says.
Wow, yeah.
After a beat, Kinsey proposes an idea. What if she lends Amber the remaining money she needs for now, and then Amber can pay her back, plus some, once she gets her new fancy job, and then Kinsey can maybe get her shop set up and running. So win-win for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Amber immediately hands over the cash there at the bar, and Kinsey is going to get her papers straight away.
Okay.
And this is Act 1.
Okay. I don't know what you're about to ask me.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Well, I think there's one question will be expected. The other one's kind of weird. I only have 2 questions.
Okay.
So the first question, it is a deadly question.
Okay.
In your desperate position, do you find the bulletin advertising cheap rooms for women only suspicious and find somewhere else to stay?
No, I wouldn't. Oh dear. So like in her position where she's like staying at a motel. First of all, I'm like scared of motels. I'm just scared of being on my own in the world. Like
very fair.
And not having a safe space. And so I would like not enjoy being in a motel long term. And then the fact that they're on you about an ID, like I really need. You're desperate. And I would genuinely like being a woman on my own, finding like cheap rooms for women only. Like I would kind of take it as like almost like a women's shelter kind of vibe.
Sure.
If that's what it was advertised as, I'd be like, oh my God, this could be a safe space, like as a woman alone. So I feel like I'd definitely go for it. I'm going to give myself a 1%.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's so interesting because I think the desperate position is like the most important part of this question. And I don't know if it's because I was going into a horror movie, but like to me, I didn't like the women only thing like freaked me out immediately. Like I didn't see it as a good thing. And
like why did only women?
Why just women?
Who's running this? Like
exactly.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like it could totally be seen as like women's shelter and like as a safe place. So I don't know why my brain didn't go there. Probably because it's a horror movie. I don't know. But I still gave myself a 32.
Yeah.
Because of the desperate position. Like definitely. At that point. And then 1B is, do you accept the offer for the coat?
Oh, like accept why are you asking me this? This
I know, it's
scary. Okay. I don't know if I'd go to them why are they just connecting because they know that they're family and so they're just like, oh, let's meet each other. Like, is that it? Because I really don't think I don't think I would do that in the first place. So that does factor in. Yeah, that factors in a little bit as far as like receiving the coat. Like if I don't even go. But if I'm there and they offer me a coat, it seemed like they were pretty insistent about it. I'll give myself like a 53.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of like heavily relying on the fact that I'm not even going, but I'm forcing myself to be in that situation. So I'm going to keep myself in the top half.
Sure. I went 89.
Okay.
Because like, it was very awkward, but I'm also like in the people pleaser side of things. Like if they want me to take the coat, I'm going to take the coat. You know what I mean? I'm not going to fight back on it for any reason. Also, like, I think it's, cool. Like I'll take your coat if you're offering it. I love free shit. So yeah, I think I would take the coat.
Girl.
What is your Act 1 score?
My Act 1 score is 14.
Oh my God.
This might be like my lowest Act 1 score ever. And no one has even died. Well, I don't think.
Yeah. No, that is crazy.
That's awesome.
Mine is a 46. So it is in the lower half.
Yeah. Wow.
Because I think that first question is a little brutal. All right. Act 2, here we come. So Amber walks back to the boarding house that night after drinks with Kinsey, and she's strolling down a darkish alleyway when we see that the streetlights behind her are going out one by one, like as they get closer to her. And she doesn't know. Whoa, what?
Isn't that what happens in the house?
Kind of, like, yeah. Actually, it's very similar. Yes.
Weird. Oh, that's so weird. Okay.
Amber doesn't notice until the outages catch up to the streetlight that she's standing right beneath.
Mm-hmm.
It starts to flicker. Looking up, she can see a moth attacking the light in the way that moths do.
Like, why do they do that? Why do they move like that?
They suck. No, they are gross. Like, when you get a close-up of them, too. Ooh, they're nasty.
You know, I might be I can't remember what kind of bug it was. One time, a bug flew into my mom's ear.
Oh.
And it got stuck in there. And I had to, like, drive her to the emergency room. Yeah. And to get it out.
Bro, I would pass out.
So I think, it was really bad, extremely painful. But I think that's why moths freak me out. Like, because of how they fly, I'm like, if you accidentally fly in my freaking ear, absolutely not. It freaks me out. Anyways, okay.
That's a valid fear.
Yeah.
So Amber clocks this as strange, but she's kind of tipsy. You know, like she just had a few drinks. But so she just like keeps walking. And as she walks away, we look back, and in the alleyway, her mother stands watching her go. Like an old version of her mother. Amber makes it back to the boarding house and hangs her coat in the entryway. Before she heads up to her room, she notices something strange. She can hear a rhythmic banging noise and can also hear a man like muttering to himself.
Oh.
She glances down another hall where she can see what appears to be, it's very dark, an older, balding man banging his head against the wall repeatedly. He's muttering something to himself in a language we don't understand.
Oh.
A freaked out Amber just walks upstairs to her room.
But, like, what's a man doing here? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the first question. And then also, what's he doing?
What is he up to over
I would
there?
immediately be finding someone. Like, the red, I'd need to tell someone.
Yeah. It's funny because, like, I kind of forgot about the all-woman thing. So, like, that part didn't hit me at first. But then it does become apparent later. But, like, it's like, oh, yeah, right. This is supposed to be all woman.
Yeah.
So while Amber sits in her bed, taking off her shoes, she hears heavy footsteps make their way toward her door.
Wait, do we have locks on these doors?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she specifically, I think, asks for a key. Nope, that's in the book I'm reading. Never mind.
Oh. I know.
Nope,
it all can mush together.
It really does. I'm listening to The Housemaid right now, the audiobook.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it?
I really am. I like
Is it your first Frida?
No.
No. Okay.
I've listened to, like,
I think that
two
was the
other ones.
first Frida McFadden that I'd ever read. And I enjoyed it. I like an easy read.
Exactly. Like, she's not like this crazy amazing author. But
Right.
It's like easy page turner type vibes.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm down for that. The light turns on in the hall as footsteps stop just outside her door. She hears the voice of the man again say something we don't understand before slamming his hand on the door once. We, the audience, take a peek and see that the man's hand had been covered in that powdery substance, and he left a handprint on the door. Sometime later, Amber heads downstairs and comes across two Romanian women in the kitchen named Maria and Petra. They are the newest tenants of the boarding house. They get to talking, and without anyone explicitly saying it, we get the impression that these girls are in a similar position to Amber, immigrants trying to make a life for themselves here. Petra offers Amber a cigarette, which she takes just as Red enters the room. "Evening, ladies," he says. "Ready to go up?" Petra and Maria quietly exit the room, and I did not get this vibe, but in reading about this film after, apparently it's supposed to be implied that these women are trading sexual favors as part of their rent payment.
Ooh, okay. Icky.
Yeah, super icky. I did not get that, but, like, I can see that being the implication because, like, why does Red come in here and say ready to go up. Like I didn't think about that before, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
maybe that is what's going on. Amber asks Red about the man that she saw earlier. She thought this place was women only. Red informs her, oh, that's his brother Becker. They're the only 2 men here. And this answer doesn't really seem to satisfy Amber, but she lets it go.
Why? Yeah. Also, you'd think, like, as someone who's joining this place who knows it's like for women, would you not want to tell them, by the way, my brother, you'll see him around?
Right. You would think to bring that up, but or you wouldn't, you know?
Yeah.
So after Red, Petra, and Maria head upstairs and start blaring music, Amber takes this opportunity to sneak into the study. Because why not? It's a dark, cluttered space that gives off the eeriest of vibes. Amber sees the moth pushpin boards and a photo of Red and Becker as kids. There's also some kind of old tape player running, and Amber can faintly hear voices coming from the headphones plugged into the machine. She picks them up and puts them on. Her ears are met with a man's voice, chanting, followed by him saying something about a ritual sacrifice. You will then give her the elderly, women, children. In return, you'll receive the blessings. Amber takes the headphones off. So, how are you feeling right now as Amber? You just heard that.
Yeah, I would leave.
Yeah.
That would be enough for me to leave. I would be like, you know what? Actually, I love Blood Family, and I think that they should take me in now.
They really should.
Yeah. I've been so happy and grateful for them all my life, and please take me under your roof. No, we can't stay here after that.
I would agree.
Yeah.
She obviously is like, oh, weird. But then she just like continues to explore the study.
She's so chill about everything.
She's really chill.
Wow.
Like, far too chill.
Yeah.
She discovers some ancient looking artifacts, a picture of a man and a woman. The man's face is crossed out. There are books on rituals. And most importantly, a photo of a man and a woman with that old stone box. Arthur and Mary Wells, the written description reads. Suddenly, the tape machine lets out a horrifying screech, scaring the shit out of Amber, who drops the framed photo on the ground, shattering it. As she bends over to clean up the glass, we see the woman with the glowing white eyes watching her from the doorway. But Amber doesn't notice. Amber swiftly leaves the study. I think, I don't know, that's scary to me, and I'd probably be like,
yeah, that's enough.
But, you know.
I agree. That's the final, that's it.
That's good.
And you're pairing it now with little other things, you know, it's just like, no, that this is time.
Yep, I would agree. The next morning, Amber goes to work, but Kinsey isn't there. She tries calling her, but only gets voicemail. So Amber asks her boss if he's seen Kinsey. She quit this morning, he tells her. Amber begs him to give her Kinsey's address, but he refuses. In fact, he's officially had it with Amber and fires her on the spot. Amber repeatedly tries calling Kinsey, but she never answers. Having lost that money and her job, Amber is now in a pretty awful position.
Yeah, I literally would go back to the family if I was her at this point. I'd feel embarrassed and bad, but like, what can you do?
Yeah, there's not really, like, she has no options.
Yeah.
All of a sudden. In the shower that night, Amber thinks she hears cries coming from the drain. Hello, Pennywise. She turns off the water to hear better, and she can clearly hear a woman screaming for help from the drain.
Oh my God.
Amber senses motion to her left through the transparent shower curtain and looks up. She can see Freya standing in the bathroom, kind of ominously. She calls out to her, but gets no reply. So she whips open the curtain, only for no one to be standing in the bathroom at all. This really fucks Amber up, and she quickly dresses and bursts out of the bathroom, running into Red.
Ew.
She asks him if he's seen Freya, and he tells her that she moved out a couple days ago.
Oh, did she? Did she?
Yeah, totally. Amber is clearly frightened and scattered, but before she darts upstairs, Red tells her that things are actually looking better financially, and he can get her deposit back tomorrow. Amber seems grateful, but still eager to get to her room, so she runs upstairs and locks the door. While Amber lays in bed listening to that voicemail from her mother, we watch a small moth emerge from the open basement door and flutter its way up to Amber's room. It's drawn to the singular lamp that Amber has lit, and she's clearly annoyed by it. So she turns over and slams it with her bare hand on the nightstand.
Ooh,
couldn't be me.
No, I would just probably turn the light off.
Yeah,
I would just have to live in the dark for the rest of my life.
Yeah, right. No.
Yeah.
That actually is the worst when, like, at night, like, if you have, like, a computer screen or a TV and suddenly there's a bug in your room and it's, like, just on the TV and you're like, oh, my God.
I know.
I'm going to lose my mind.
I know.
I just stare at it.
It's always a ladybug for me.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Always, well,
it's better than, like, I feel like
it could be worse. No,
bugs.
No, yeah, it could be worse for sure.
Yeah. So she rolls back over and she continues listening to the voicemail. But quickly, we hear the sound of the moth's fluttering wings again. She looks up and watches the moth fly across the room until it flies, like, right toward a figure in the corner. It's like a bit of a jump scare because you're very much, like, focused on this moth. And then suddenly there's, like, a person standing there.
Yeah, I love that.
Amber, her mother says before Amber jolts up in bed. As Amber is regaining her composure, she looks to her door. It's wide open.
Oh my God.
I think that would scare the shit out of me, like waking up to a wide open door.
Imagine. I mean, I've never been in like stayed in a place like this, obviously, but compare it. Imagine if you were like staying in a motel and you wake up and your door is just completely open.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
I've never really thought of that. That's gotta be up there as like most terrifying little.
Yeah, you said that and like niches. My body like tensed up. Oh, creepy. The cries of a woman can be heard out in the hallway.
Crazy, okay.
Amber creeps toward the door. She sees a young woman in the room across the hall, just standing there crying. Her eyes glow faintly white.
Oh.
Looking away and then back, the woman disappears. But rapid, heavy footsteps approach Amber. Literally another one of the worst ones out there.
No, that's like number one. That's number one. I don't care. People say it's scarier when they walk. No, it's like a different kind of scary. But to me, like just someone sprinting at you. Okay.
And the fact that we also don't see her.
Yes.
We just hear her. Like it's just the infinite worst thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, the footsteps we can see leaving wet prints behind. As they get closer to Amber. The woman begins to gasp and cry when Amber hears loud, raspy breathing coming from behind her. The floorboards in the hall creak. "Please, Mary, no," the young woman says. Suddenly, Mary appears in the doorway. This is the woman we've been seeing throughout the film. "I must prepare you, or Arthur will hurt us both," she says. She takes off in a quick sprint towards the young woman, and Amber flinches. Looking back up, the apparitions are gone and everything is gone still. But only for a moment. An invisible struggle plays out. We can no longer see them, but we can hear them and see furniture and objects being knocked over. The struggle makes its way down the hall and then the stairs. Amber follows. Down the end of the hallway with that basement door, the woman sits on the ground sobbing and begging Mary for her life. "Don't listen to Arthur," she pleads. Suddenly, a large-ass arm extends from the basement door at ground level. It snatches the young woman and drags her through the door. Yeah, it's like a beefy arm. It doesn't
and
look
it's like
right.
Literally what do you mean like through the door?
The door's open.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if we were going full apparition.
Right. Yeah,
okay.
They look real as much as they're like apparitions. They look like humans. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
And this is Amber's breaking point. Finally.
Good. I'm happy we got there. I would have been.
Yes.
I wouldn't have been surprised at all if she was just like crazy. Okay, and then went back to bed.
That was fun. All right. Back in her room, she frantically packs her bags and tries calling her uncle Beto. Beto answers and asks her what she could possibly be calling for at this hour. She immediately asks him to come pick her up. Unfortunately, he and his family are out of town, but he can tell that this is urgent, so he's like, call the cops.
Yeah.
But she comes clean. That she can't. She lied about being born here.
Yeah.
But she really needs help right now. She asks if he'll wire her money. Beto apologizes and says he can't. He barely knows her, but he will come to see her as soon as he can.
I would wonder, I would ask if there's any way to get into their house. Like if I could stay at their house while they're gone.
That's a good question.
I know a lot of people these days, myself included, like we don't just like leave secret keys outside
right,
just in case because we don't want to be killed. But man, that's probably what I would ask. But I'm sure that's not an option.
But that's not going to stop Amber from doing all she can to get out of here. Mm-hmm. She goes to the study and bangs on the door calling for Red.
Oh no. Why would you? Would you do that? I would think that he might be aware and I wouldn't like just be like, I need to get myself out of here.
Yeah, I think it's sus, but the reason she's coming here is because she wants her deposit that he promised. Like, she wants that money.
Sure, yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah.
The door opens, but it's not Red standing behind it. It's a very large, strong-looking man.
Oh.
Amber wastes no time on introductions. Where's Red? She asks. He said he'd give me my money back. I'll send him down when he gets back, the man replies, before promptly shutting the door in her face. With very little money to her name, Amber leaves the boarding house in search of somewhere to stay. Mm-hmm. She has no luck. Later that night, she sits on a crowded subway car looking defeated. Oof. She buries her head in her hands, and lights begin to flicker around her. When she looks back up, all of the people are gone, and her mother sits across from her. She stares her daughter down before looking to her right. Amber follows her mother's gaze to see the box sitting on the ground in the subway car.
Yeah.
The face closest to them is removed. The lights continue to flash and flicker, but Amber can see that two large hands are emerging from the box. They reach toward Amber with a screech, and again, Amber wakes up. This time, she's sitting in a diner with a cup of coffee in front of her. It's nighttime, and a snowstorm is raging outside.
Oh, okay.
She picks up her phone and makes a phone call. A little later, Red walks into the diner and takes a seat across from Amber. Amber immediately asks if he brought her deposit. He says no, he was out, so it's back at the house, but because she had sounded so upset on the phone, he came here straight away. Amber's just like, okay, well, can you please go get it for me?
Yeah.
And Red is like, I'm not going to go get it and bring it back here. Like, you know.
Why not?
Well, he says he's not going to go all the way across town just to get her money, but she's more than welcome to come with him back to the house to get it.
Because if he was so worried that he drove across town to make sure we were okay, you should be just as enthusiastic to be like, yes, whatever you need. Right. I'll go get it and be back. I don't trust it.
Amber says she really doesn't want to go back. And Red admits that he doesn't want to bring her there because I guess he and Becker didn't see eye to eye in regards to her refund. He then goes on to tell us that Becker is a bit off. He's not well. But he feels he owes it to his brother now to take care of him since Becker had really helped him growing up. Red had a hard time with their father. He was abusive, and Becker had stuck up for him back then. Now it's his turn to look after his brother. In the end, Amber agrees to go back to the house with Red to get the money. And she follows him into the house.
Nah.
I would have stayed in the car.
Yep.
At the very least. And that is Act 2.
All right. I think I'm going to score higher this time.
You think so?
Yeah, I better than my last 14%.
Yeah, that 1% on the first question was crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 7 questions for Act 2.
Ooh, okay.
2A. Do you refuse Kinsey's offer to lend you the remaining money for your papers?
I'm going to go 51. I really don't know. It really depends. It depends on the moment. It depends on how desperate I'm feeling in the moment. That's the whole thing about this whole movie is like there just feels like there's no other option in so many different ways.
Exactly. I went 12% on this because I didn't see any red flags as a viewer when Kinsey was like, oh, like, give me the money. No part of me thought that she was gonna take the money and run. Like, I never got that impression. I think I would trust Kinsey, so I give myself a 12.
Yeah, I definitely have I just always have my guard.
Yeah.
So,
2B. After sneaking into the study, do you leave the house?
I would say like 99.
Really? Okay.
After the study, this is when we see just the brother.
No, this is after we see the ritual book and the ritual chanting. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still sticking with 99. Yeah. There's a lot of reasons, a lot of things that happen in this movie where I'm like, nope, I'm out.
Crazy. I gave myself a 47.
Wow.
I would want to leave, but I'm like really like the desperation aspect.
Yeah.
Like I have no money and nowhere to go. And I also would definitely think I was being paranoid. Like I would definitely consistently be like, no, that's not happening. There's no way something like that's happening in this. Like that would be me, unfortunately. 2C. Red promises to get your deposit back tomorrow. Do you stay the night?
No. No. I'm gonna give myself a 32.
Okay.
For that one. Leaving? I think I'm leaving. I think I would rather sleep on a bench.
Okay. I gave myself an 87. Wow. I think I'm desperate for the money.
Yeah.
I think that's where like most of my scores come from is like
I would go back for the money. But I wouldn't stay the night.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. 2D. Do you follow Mary and the young woman's struggle through the house?
Yeah. It's like you can't take your eyes away from that.
I think I'd be too scared.
I'm like scared when I don't see something.
Also
like
true.
When I see something and then it's not there. Like I need to see what's going on. I would say probably like a 68.
Okay. I gave myself a 27.
Oh my God. We're like so opposite
on
everything. It's going to be one of those movies where like we're opposite on everything, but then it comes to the same.
Exactly. In the end. Yeah, no, I think I would be too scared. And I think that witnessing this is really what makes Amber leave, which is why I think the more likely you are to follow, the more likely you are to like survive, so to speak.
Yeah.
2E, do you call Uncle Beto for help?
Yes. So remember before when I said like I wouldn't even show up at their house. The thing is, they would be last ditch, but with how insane like these things in this house are, I would just be honest with them and be like, I know we don't know each other, but I need to tell you what just happened in this house, and like I might have to leave the state to get as far away from this house as possible. Like I'm not gonna like just live with you guys forever.
Yeah.
But please help me just for a week. I'd probably go like 91.
Okay. I went 45 just because I think my fear of inconveniencing people is very strong. And that might be the thing that stops me. Like, as I always say, I'm a big fan of running off into the woods in a movie. I'm always a big fan of that. And I think that would be like more like what I would do in this situation. Okay. So 2F, we have 2 questions here. So don't get ahead of yourself. 2F. Do you refuse to go with Red back to the house?
Nah.
Yeah.
I would definitely go back. I just don't want to like you said, I'm not going inside.
Yes, 2 questions.
But yeah. So would I go back? I would say probably 99. Like I'd be like, heck yeah, let's go get my money.
So 1.
Right, 1. Yeah, that's right.
I went 10%. So I'm in the same boat. Like I would say, okay, I'll go out. Like I feel like a spooky house isn't a spooky sidewalk, Like I'm sure I'll go outside the house. That's no big deal.
Yep.
And then our last question, 2G, do you stay in the car while Red gets the money?
This is where I go 99.
Yeah.
I'll flip it.
Okay. I went 82. Again, I think like I'm giving myself more room for just desperation. But
I wonder what would have happened if I can't tell if like he wants her to come in the house.
Yeah, she doesn't even ask.
Yeah. She just goes along with it.
Exactly.
So I'm like curious if I were to say like, no, I'm going to stay out here, like what his reaction would be to that. And that might factor into whether I'd end up giving in and going inside or not. But
exactly.
I'm going to assume like I can just stay right here.
Yeah. No, that's what I went with too. I'm totally with you.
Yeah. I'm up to like a 63% now with Act 2.
Your Act 2 is 63? Okay.
Yeah.
Mine is 44.
Okay.
So it's only 2% lower than my Act 1, but...
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's interesting.
Lower. Act 3, here we come. Going back into the house, it doesn't really seem too scary right now. The 2 Romanian girls are blasting music and having a good time in the kitchen. Red tells Amber the money's up in her room, so she goes upstairs to get it. Walking into her room, she doesn't see the money anywhere obvious, so she starts looking through drawers. Red appears in the doorway. When Amber sees him, she asks where the money is, but Red doesn't answer the question. I know this house is a little weird, he says. My dad used to dig up and collect all this strange stuff. He was a real nut job. Killed our mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
so crazy, dude.
Amber tries to make her way for the door, but Red stops her. I wish you hadn't called me. I was going to help you, Red says. But Becker, he needs you. At this, Becker makes his way into the room. Red says he's got this covered, but Becker pushes him aside. He takes a bottle of wine and pours some on his hand before flicking the liquid around the room, like saying some sort of chant. Okay. And he then confronts Amber and tells her to drink.
What the hell?
When Amber refuses, he forces the wine down her throat. Becker and Red go to leave the room.
Do you think can you just get out of, like, how strong and intimidating are these people?
Red, not so much. Becker, big scary
He's
man.
The big arm. Is he the big arm?
No.
Okay.
But he is like a huge muscular man.
Sure. Okay, yeah.
If Becker has you cornered, I would say you're really almost no woman is going to escape him.
Yeah. Okay.
Becker and Red go to leave the room. Please don't try to leave, Red says. He'll make it way worse. Amber locks the door behind them. Some time passes. Oh, side note, the windows are barred.
Oh, good.
Not in a way that, like, they were like, ooh, we're going to trap you in here, but just like the way in, like, you know,
safety
outskirts of
reasons?
cities. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that kind of barred.
Mm-hmm.
Some time passes, and it seems that Amber has just been sitting in her room distressed, unsure of what to do. Light footsteps approach her door, and she hears Petra and Maria on the other side asking to come in. She opens the door and lets them inside.
Mm-hmm.
They've had the same experiences as Amber tonight, and the girls decide to stick together.
Good.
I have to find a way out of this. Becker is currently down by the basement door, so they can't just go out the front door. They'd have to pass him. He sleeps during the day, so waiting until morning maybe would be their best bet. Mm-hmm. We learn that Maria and Petra have been experiencing the same things, including the box and the female voices crying and the dreams.
Okay, weird.
The girls sit and seem to be waiting for morning when Petra starts singing a song in Romanian. It's very eerie, given the circumstances, and at a point, Amber looks up to see the ghosts of 14 women standing in the room with them. They all look at Amber, but it's less scary and more just sad. They're not, like, intimidating. They're just kind of, like, appearing to them.
Okay.
Amber falls asleep, but is woken up to the sound of Petra and Maria screaming. Red and Becker have made their way back into the room and are trying to take the girls by force. There's a scuffle, but the men ultimately overpower the girls, and then the doorbell rings. Inconvenient timing for the men. They throw Amber into a different room across the hall and lock her in there. Red answers the door. It's Beto. He's looking for his niece Amber. Of course, Red denies knowing anyone by that name or the description that Beto has given him. From her window upstairs, Amber can see that it's Beto at the front door, so she starts banging on the glass, calling for her uncle. Mm-hmm. Beto's pushing a bit with Red. He seems suspicious, but Red continues to deny ever seeing her. Beto peers into the entryway and sees Amber's coat on the floor. It all comes back. Good. One he would recognize because his wife had given it to her.
Yes.
He brings this up to Red, just as Amber manages to break the glass of the window and call down to her uncle. He sees her, and then more scuffle ensues. Beto pushes by Red and starts to run up the stairs toward the sound of Amber's voice. Red isn't nearly as strong or competent as his brother, so he calls for Becker. Beto makes it up to the room Amber's trapped in. The door is locked, so he tells Amber to stand back. Just as he's about to kick the door down, Amber watches through the keyhole as Becker approaches Beto from behind.
Oh, no.
There's no contest here.
Oh.
Becker beats Beto repeatedly. Amber screams for him, but it's no use. R.I.P. Beto. Thanks for trying.
What the heck? That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's so cool that he showed up and, like, fought to get in. Do you know what I mean? Like, a good human being would do that, like, whether that's family or not. Sure. But he didn't have to do that, I guess. And he did, and that sucks.
No, I do like him in this moment.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, like he like seems to genuinely care for her.
Yeah.
Like, not that he didn't before, but before it was kind of more like obligation, and this was, you know, more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Now the men manage to restrain the girls together, and Becker decides that Maria will be up first. He picks her up and carries the screaming girl downstairs to the basement. Red tells him that this is going to be too many in one go, but Becker ignores him. Petra somehow is sleeping in one of the beds in the room, but Amber sits up wide awake. What are you going to do to us? She asks Red. Why are you doing this? Always gotta ask that question.
Yeah.
Red rubs the greenish white powder on Amber's legs. I'm trying to help my brother, he says. He's gonna go on to explain some backstory here, as follows. His brother's been sick, and when the medical bills got too high, they came back to live at home with their father in this house. That's when they discovered what he'd been doing to those girls, and he forced their mother to help him before ultimately killing her too. Mary? Amber asks. Red looks at her for a beat before replying, yes.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what this house shows to those who live in it.
Mm.
But anyway, they killed their father when they found out what he was doing. Red wanted to get out of here right away, but Becker thought they should fix the place up, so they stayed. And just like their father, Becker started to discover the wonders of the box.
Oh, God.
He thinks it chose him, Red tells us. And then Beck started getting better. Beck claims he only needs a few more hits, and then they can stop doing this completely. Naturally, Amber was like, hits of what?
Yeah, the powder.
Well.
Oh.
Red stays silent. How many, Red? How many women? Red continues to defend what he's been doing by saying he's helping his brother. He owes this to his brother. Amber tries to get through to Red, saying they should both just get out of here. But Becker makes his way back into the room to get Amber. Don't fight, he tells her. The last one fought. And he shows us his hand. Deep red scratches bleed on the surface. He grabs Amber, putting more powder on her face, and then uses 3 fingers to draw 3 red lines of like blood down her face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. As Beck carries Amber down to the basement from the top floor, Amber sees the ghosts of all the women before her watching. Mm-hmm. They're kind of like, as she's just passing all of the women. Mm-hmm. Very eerie shot. Beck brings Amber down into a weird sort of chamber room. Candles are lit all around, and a sort of table type, like stone table, sits in the center of the room. Mm-hmm. Becker chains Amber to it. Against the wall behind Amber's head sits the box, upon an altar surrounded by candles. Becker unlatches the box and removes that front face. We finally get a look into the box. It's a long corridor, small, but it extends, like it's a tiny corridor, but it extends beyond the natural confines of the box. Becker goes to leave the room, and Amber calls for him one last time to stop this. You should feel honored, he says, before slamming the door shut. Of course she should. Amber is left panicking on the stone table as she tilts her head back, trying to see the box. Some loud thumping sounds come from within. Moths suddenly fill the room. Lots and lots of moths. I'm so sorry to tell you this. I'm so sorry.
I won't be watching this one.
No,
like officially as of right now, I can't be watching this.
Can't be watching it? That's fair.
No.
Amber cries and struggles when the main door the room suddenly opens, and in comes Beto. He rushes to her side and undoes her chains. What's the matter?
Is this for real?
I don't know. Like, does it make sense?
No.
Okay.
Wait, maybe. Maybe. Yeah. Is he he's beaten up? But, like,
no.
So no. So never mind.
Yeah. He rushes to her side and undoes her chains. They run through another door in the basement when Amber sees 2 headless female bodies hung from the ceiling. No time to stop and admire that, though.
No.
Beto and Amber race for a metal door and repeatedly ram themselves into it, trying to bust it down. It's not budging. Amber hears her name whispered from behind her, and looking back, she sees her mother's hospital room starting to take shape. Mm-hmm. She ignores it and continues to ram into the door with Beto. They finally get it open, and they fall into darkness behind it. Pitch black. Amber calls for Beto, but gets no reply. Looking forward, Amber's POV has abruptly changed to being from within the box. She's looking out onto the scene of her and her mother in the hospital room. She blinks and is back in her body, with her head resting on her mother's lap.
Mm-hmm.
She seems conscious of the fact that she's in a memory. She's saying the lines she said back then, but it's kind of like against her will, like they're just coming out of her mouth, but you can tell in her face that she's like, what's going on here? She looks up at her mother and then back behind herself. Behind her is the ritual room, where she can see herself still laying on the table.
Weird, yeah.
2 arms begin to emerge from the box. Can you stay a little longer? Her mother asks, much like she did in the real memory.
Mm-hmm.
Please stay. The wings of the moths in the ritual room flutter as dragging and grubbling sounds emerge from within the box, along with the entity of this being itself. I want to ask you something, Cassie.
Okay.
Do you remember how I said this was a book before it was a movie?
Yeah.
Do you remember what other book the author of this book wrote?
The Ritual.
Yeah, well, here we go again.
Oh, God, is it a crazy monster?
From within the box.
Oh, my God. Okay. Oh, God. Okay.
A creature appears.
Yes.
And by the way, the version of Amber's mother in the memory suddenly starts to get like sinister and creepy, but like there's
traumatic.
More important issues happening.
Yeah.
The 2 long, large arms with hands that we've been seeing throughout the movie.
Yes.
Those are its legs.
Of course.
Naturally. Its arms and hands are kind of T-Rex-like in the sense that the upper half of the arms are draped in a thin sort of membrane that restricts their movement. Mm-hmm.
Right. Membrane.
Yes. The face is white and also covered in a thin membrane, hiding the complexities of its facial features, but this face is pretty human looking from what we can see.
Mm.
Upon its head is something that resembles a crown, but is in fact part of its body. As it walks upon its hands toward Amber, it drags behind it what looks like heavy moth wings.
No.
It is also covered in moths itself.
Wait, do the moths like fly but stay?
They're like fluttering. Yeah.
They are fluttering.
Yeah.
I'm gonna puke.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know you had a moth thing.
Yeah.
I was like, here's a giant moth.
I don't really think about it much, but wow, it is pretty bad. I really do hate them. Yeah.
So this creature perches its hand legs on 2 supports on either side of the table, like straddling Amber's head.
Mm.
The actual hands grab the sides of Amber's face. And cutting to Amber's memory, her mother is now also holding her hands. Her face in her hands. The creature opens up its stomach just above Amber's head, revealing a zombie-esque mouth with large teeth. Not even pointy teeth, just regular teeth, but they're chunkers.
I would rather them be pointy.
Yeah, it's weird. Horrible. It's so bad. I can't even.
Yeah.
Stay a little longer, her mother pleads again, grabbing at her arms. But Amber's picking up on what's happening, and she resists it.
Mm-hmm.
She tells her mom that she needs to go, but her mother gets more aggressive. You need to stay, she says, wrapping her hands around Amber's throat, mimicking the actions of the creature in real time. Amber fights back, letting out a scream. Her eyes open on the table as Dream Amber grabs a pillow and holds it over her mother's face, suffocating her.
Wow.
Amber gasps awake in the ritual room, free from her chains and standing beside the table. The creature is just pulling the panel shut on the side of the box, like as if it's just retreated, but it doesn't shut the box all the way.
Mm-hmm.
So Amber goes over and removes that panel. Inside now just sits a pile of bones and a moth. She closes the box back up and makes her way out of the basement. She's 20 yards from the front door when she hears Petra screaming for help upstairs. Nah. Yeah,
that's
good
hard.
Person, selfish person.
Right.
You know? Amber stands in the entryway contemplating her next move. She peers into the study directly to her left where she sees these large paddle things that maybe were like ancient weapons. I don't know what they are.
Okay.
But we cut to upstairs where Becker is finalizing his preparations for Petra. Something washes over him, and he asks Red to go check the basement. Something's different, he says, glancing down at his still bloody and scratched up hand. Amber is creeping up the stairs with that paddle held in her hands. She does pass Beto's body on the way up, R.I.P. again.
Yeah.
Well, Red goes ahead and opens the door to the room they've been in, and Amber's waiting just on the other side. She swings the paddle at Red, and I guess you kind of, like, you could say this kind of gives Saw Blade, because it has pointed edges around the paddle.
Okay.
So she's able to, like, dig those spikes into Red's leg.
Yep.
Before giving him a swift hit to the face as well.
Okay.
And also those pointed pieces, like, fall off, like, when she's hitting. I don't know what this is.
Huh.
But Becker makes his way over, and Amber goes after him, too. She lands a hit or two, but Becker is different. He won't be stopped that easily. He knocks Amber to the ground and stomps on her ankle. It's not a shot I ever needed to see.
Is it a crack or a smush? I don't know how.
Oh, it's a crack.
Okay.
Because her leg is, like, kind of, like, angled off the ground, so it has a little bit of that leverage, so he just stomps it.
Oh my God.
It's...
I know, bone stuff.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very broken, I wrote. In the background, Petra is untying herself, and she manages to push Becker before he can then swing the paddle at Amber. Petra tries to make a run for it into the hall, but she doesn't get very far. Becker grabs her in the hall, and they're fighting against one another. But unfortunately, Becker easily swings Petra over the railing, sending her falling 4 stories to the ground below. R.I.P. Petra.
Oh my God.
It's one of those kind of gross, like, splat situations.
Yeah.
It's not pretty. So Becker walks back into the room where Amber is still writhing on the floor in pain and drags her into the hall. He pushes her against the door frame and puts his hand around her throat. Amber manages to lift her arm up, and using one of the fallen spikes from the paddle, she slits Becker's throat.
Ooh.
Becker grabs for his throat and falls to the ground. Amber grabs the paddle and smashes it into Becker's face over and over and over until he is gone.
Okay.
Yeah. In pure exhaustion, Amber collapses to the floor in the hall before forcing herself to get back up and escape. Remember, she's got that broken ankle, so it isn't going to be easy. Just before she makes her way down the stairs, she hears Red grunting from the room. She limps over and looks at him before we just cut to Red strapped to the table in the basement.
Oh. Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Amber goes ahead and watches the sacrifice ritual. The creature grabs Red's head in its hands, brings it toward its stomach mouth, and chomps it clean off. Amber looks a little less disturbed than I want her to be. As she heads back to the main floor.
She's a chill girl.
She's like, oh, that was nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Walking for the door, she passes a room where she sees Red's ghost, now trapped here forever. She continues on her way, and just before she reaches the front door, something happens. Her broken ankle cracks and heals itself in seconds.
Oh.
Her wounds clear up.
Wow.
Her breath becomes steady, and a power takes over her body. A moth flutters by her hand.
Okay.
She stares at the front door before turning around. One last shot of the box takes us into its dark inside before rolling the credits. The end.
So what?
Is the question really?
Okay, good.
Yes, I did do a lot of reading on this film afterward, as you can probably understand.
Yes. Okay.
One thing, obviously, the ending is kind of left open.
Yeah.
For interpretation. There is a theory on this movie that I don't think makes sense, but that I love. There is this moth creature. I wrote it down. It is based on a real life creature called, let me look it up really quick.
I'm gonna also look up what this thing looks like.
Oh yeah, it's really cool actually.
Oh?
Do you like it?
This is not what I imagined. Of course.
You can blame that on me. I
really was just thinking about the moths.
Yeah.
So I was just imagining like all moth, and it's a lot more than that.
Yes, that's true. It is very similar to the ritual creature, honestly. It's got a very similar build. But this creature is called, I'm gonna just spell it for everybody.
Okay.
And it's because it's got a lot of accents on letters. Itzpapalotl. So it kind of looks like it's Popolotl.
Okay.
It's an Aztec warrior goddess and obsidian butterfly deity who demands human sacrifices.
Oh, yeah. I love when it's based off of like legends and lore are so crazy. So I like when it's based off of stuff like that. Yeah,
it says she's portrayed as a massive skeletal moth human hybrid. I think the coolest interpretation of this film that I don't think makes sense, but I like it anyway, is that Amber actually did kill her mother in real life so that she could get away and start her own life. And that's why the creature like spares her in the end and like takes her as the new master.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people don't agree with that because like Amber doesn't seem like a bad person. But that's also like a whole different being a caretaker. Not that you should never murder anybody. Whoa, back up.
Yeah.
But like,
but I like the guts of that plot.
There's a lot more nuance to something like that than her just being like this terrible, terrible person. So I think that is a really cool way to look at this and would explain a lot more about what that hospital scene is in the end and why the creature lets her go. Like, I mean, part of it is that her mother, the whole point of the memories is that it's supposed to draw her to death and trap her in death. And in the end, she has to fight against it. But it is a very bizarre movie. It's kind of all over the place. It doesn't get great reviews, but I actually really, really liked it. I thought it was very cool. The vibes were cool. And I think one of the things I like about this story is that it has somebody in a very desperate position that does make sense. It's not like, oh no, and then the service went out and the phone stopped working. It's like, no, like this girl legitimately like has money concerns and like she can't call the cops because of her position, you know?
That's so scary. Yeah.
It's really interesting in that perspective. But yeah, that's the movie. I have 3 questions for you for the third act.
Let's go.
3A is a deadly question. And it is, are you able to fight against the dream version of your mother begging you to stay with her in death?
It's hard to say because if it was my real mom, I couldn't leave her.
Yeah.
Even in a dream.
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't know exactly what the relationship is here beyond just like caretaker in the movie.
It seemed like they were close.
Like very close.
Yeah.
Yikes. I would give myself a 13%.
Okay. We've really just like went so different from each other in this movie. I went 73 on this one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like I wouldn't see it as. I think I don't know. I wouldn't see it as real, even though like it should feel real. Like it should. That's the point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
It's also so weird. Way. Even if I was aware that it wasn't real, I still think it would be like really hard. I think I'd be okay with that. Like it just getting to live in that and getting to save her, and not losing her, even if it's not real. Like weirdly, you know? Yeah,
I get that. 3B, do you immediately leave the house after escaping from the basement? And this is as opposed to going to help Petra.
I know. I do fear I'm like a coward where I'm like, I always assume I can't do anything. Like I need to go get help.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
You know, like I want to leave and get help. And the only time that I am not leaving to go get help is usually if it's like my dog or my family. Like, and then I can't help it. Like I just have to do what I can. So it's like this person that is not my dog or my family.
That you barely know.
That I barely know. I'm going to say 57.
Okay.
What?
I give myself a 96.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I would feel guilty though. Like
I would go and get help. Like I know, you were saying,
but in a situation like this, I don't think there would be time.
Okay, well then R.I.P.
reasonable help,
I guess. Like
yeah, and she like can't call the cops, like we said.
That's true. Yeah, I hate to say it, but like I do think I'm out. This man is humongous. I don't think I have a chance.
You know what? I think I'm gonna raise mine from a 57 to a 67 because I do think, I don't know, I would just feel so bad.
No, it would live with me for the rest of my life.
Of course. Like the urgency of it is why I think I might panic and just be like, I have to help her even.
Sure.
But like if it, I don't know. This was a hard one for some reason. I don't know why.
You know, I want to bring us back to an episode that I don't remember what episode it was. It might have been Haunt, I don't know, or it was before that, where you specifically said that you would leave me behind, but you would save the random Romanian girl in this moment. Just gonna.
I'm curious about what the specific situation was.
No,
and
we
why.
were like climbing out of a basement through a window or something.
Yeah.
I forget.
I know what you're talking about.
Wait,
actually.
what was it? I don't remember.
I think that was Haunt.
Was it?
But yes, that was a situation. I'll tell you why. Is because
I'll tell you why.
Hold on. So that was when like we're escaping a haunted house and we have access to like driving away with a car and getting police help and shutting this down. Like, you know what I mean? Whereas this feels like more urgent of like, if I don't help her right now, she's going to be killed right now. Like she can't run and hide. And I don't, so I feel like there's a level of, cause I've talked before about like when it comes to kids and animals, I'm like more likely to help because I feel like they can't fend for themselves.
Sure.
And I feel like with the magnitude of this monster, it's very much like she can't fend for herself. Like this isn't just like psycho people that you can hide from. And it's like a whole different thing. So, but that's at the same time, like it's a psycho monster. What am I going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
This is literally one of the, it doesn't happen very often where I'm like, I really don't know unless I'm in it. I mean, that's kind of the blanket statement for everything. Like you think you know, but you don't. But this is one where I'm like, I don't even think I know. Like I just don't know.
That's so interesting.
Because it's so like heated it's such an in the moment split decision.
No, that's fair. I just know I'm a coward, I think, in a situation like this.
I think I am too, but I would just feel oh my God, I think I'd be an idiot. I don't know why.
Hey, but maybe you'd make it out because she did. So
yeah, you know? But Petra didn't even freaking live.
Well, Petra didn't live. So
it would have been for nothing.
Exactly. Kind of sucks.
I'm going to raise it from a 67 to a 77.
The more we talk, you're like, actually.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Okay. And then our final question, 3C, deadly question, is pretty broad and is, can you successfully fight off Red and Becker?
Red, I think so.
Red is definitely doable with the paddle. If you come across that, I'm assuming we do have it.
But Becker's the big question here.
Yeah.
If that paddle thing's just lying around, I'd probably use it. I don't know though. I'm gonna give myself like a 41.
I give myself a 5.
Oh. Yeah, I haven't seen Becker. Maybe I should be
you haven't seen Becker. I also just like, even if I had that paddle, like my upper arm, like my arm strength is not really
you wouldn't need to worry about that. Like you'd be so scared. Like it's all adrenaline.
Just suddenly I'm a ninja. Yeah, maybe, probably not. I don't have faith in myself in physical combat situations.
Yeah.
So
wow, this is like actually such an interesting questions day.
We've been so different on almost all of them. Which is really, really something.
Okay, that brings my third to a 31.
Oh, because you couldn't fight the dream version, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's what's bringing me down. And that was a deadly.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Sorry. No, because I have a 47, which just feels too high. What is your overall score for this episode? I'm really intrigued.
Yeah, which brings my overall score to a 39%.
This is weird because mine is a 46. And I just feel like you were higher than me in general, but it's, it depends on the questions which ones you're answering.
I'm like 100. Well, I really struck out on the deadly questions overall compared to you, I think. So that's what it is.
So that's going to bring our overall score for this episode to a 43%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly feel like in some ways I feel guilty about that because it feels high given her desperate situation. Yeah. But then there are other moments where I think there are things that could have been done differently. Like where, maybe like where you said you probably wouldn't give your money to Kinsey. Like that's not necessarily, it is a little based on the desperation, but not as much. And then like immediately leaving the house after escaping from the basement. That's, that's going to bring you up if you're anything like me.
Right. So. It's just like, it's not one of those movies where you get trapped in this place and you literally can't leave.
Right. Like you can walk out the door.
Yeah, you can. That's why it's this high, because there are many points up until the very end where you can just go.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a valid score.
All right, so that is No One Gets Out Alive from 2021. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and hanging out with us this week. As always, please check us out over on Instagram at I'd Survive Podcast. There you can also find the link to our Discord where you too can fill out an interactable worksheet to get your own score. So let us know. Would you survive?